Now, what I've got to show you this time is an out and out experiment. I got to wondering if you took this is a store-bought bass guitar. I haven't done very much with this, but never mind. One day I shall learn to play it. But I got to wondering what would happen. Well, first of all, can I make cigar box basses? Can I make bass guitars at all, you see? So I thought, well, I'd like to have a go. The other thing was, I got to wondering what would happen if you took bass guitar strings and put them on an ordinary scale length, a scale length from an ordinary guitar. This has got a scale length of 34 inches and the cigar box guitars that I've made have got a scale length of 25. So I thought, well, what I will do, I bought a set of machine heads and a set of strings and split them into two, and I've made two string guitars. They're sort of like, well, like the diddly bows really. I mean, you get 1 and 2 string diddly bows, so I thought, well, why not make a 2 string bass, and that's what I've done. This one, the big one, I've got a crib sheet here with the technical specs on. The lowest string is 105 gauge, the higher one is 85 gauge. The box is 18 inches by 9 inches by 2.5 inches front to back, 10mm ply all the way around. It's the first time I tried to put F-holes in, and I'm quite pleased with these. I think it's quite impressive in its way. It makes it look a bit posh, like somebody who knew what they were doing made it. Or somebody who meant it made it. Anyway, what does it sound like? Well, acoustically, you don't get very much. It does work, but there you are. And I've tuned it to E and B, by the way. But amplified, I don't think it's plugged in. I don't think I switched it on. No, I haven't. Hang on while I switch it on. There is a buzzing noise. I'm afraid there's some sort of interference going on. I think actually it's the pickup is picking up the computer screens. I think that's the problem, because it gets less when I take it away. Anyway, we digress, don't we? Or rather I do. What does it sound like? Quite a nice noise. That's the only bit of bassing I know that I know rather. Not very good, but there you are. This is the usual thing I play in there. I'm no good with the bass like this. But there you are. The major problem that I've encountered as a first-time bodger is very, very difficult to get a fretboard with a decently playable action. In other words, the strings low enough onto the frets to make it comfortable without them buzzing on the next fret up. It's very, very difficult, and you need to be a lot more skilled than I am. This has got a very high action indeed, to the point where it's alright down here, but once you get up here it's a bit awkward. I mean, you can see, can't you, look, that's my finger going under there. It's very high action indeed, very difficult to do and make a proper job of. But I mean, as basses go, for what I want, all I wanted to know was, can I do it? That's what I found. Now, the other part of the experiment was, what is a short scale bass like? Now, this has got a 65 gauge string on, a 45 gauge string. The box is 13.5 by 9 by 2.25 by 2.25. F-holes again. Bit better acoustically, but it's still hardly any volume. And see, quite nice. Amplify it up for you and switch it on. So play the same thing again. See? Quite a nice tone, I think. Quite nice, I think. And not the same problems really with the action. It's still quite high off the fretboard, but quite pleased with this. And I think what I'm going to do, I got the bottle out to show you, but trust me, this isn't too bad. But on the big one, I'm not even going to show you because it's all that scratching. It's dreadful with the big strings. Maybe if you use flat wound strings, it would be a different story. Which brings me on to what I propose to do next. Well, I'm quite pleased with this, and playing it with 2 strings on. Bear in mind these are the same difference, 7 frets difference, 7 semitones. It's the same difference that you would get on an ordinary cigar box guitar. He said, pointed to guitars you can't see, but the ordinary cigar box guitars of mine. And I missed that 3rd string. And I think I might well make a 3-string bass like this with a 25-inch scale and 3 strings. I think that might be quite good, because then obviously what I can play on the ordinary guitars just translates directly onto this. So that will be that. So there we are, that's that. Now let's turn that off to stop the buzzing. What I think I might do in terms of this one, I think I might make a 3-string 34-inch scale, fretless. Now I've said all along that I can't cope with fretless instruments, but I've noticed playing this that, I mean, let's face it, it's not so much fingering as grabbing a handful. It's not, I mean, without knocking proper bass players who can finger it properly. But I noticed that I'll plug it in and show you, hang on. Oh. But I noticed that rather than press the string down behind the fret, like so, you can get away with actually pressing on the fret. And so on. And that led me on to think, well, I can see where those frets are by the markers, and it's not that precise really. So if I put a marker on every single fret, and if I put dot markers for the ordinary frets and these screw markers for the important ones, the 3, 5, 7, 12 and so on, and then fingered it according to those, maybe, just maybe, I could play a fretless one. And a fretless with flat wound strings might just give me that lovely noise that you get with a fretless bass. Slide it up and down on those, because I'd love to be able to make that. I think it's a lovely noise. Almost as good as bottlenecking. In fact, I'll just show you how bad bottlenecking is. Gruesome, isn't it? But, so, that was the experiment. At least now I know what happens. These might be instruments for somebody who just wants to have a mess about and try. We shall see. It's like I keep saying, it's like letting your cat have kittens. It's all very well having a box full of little fluffy things to coo over. They're really cute, but you've got to find homes for them. So, let's see if I can find a home for these, or maybe I'll take them to bits for the spares, I don't know. But we shall see. That was the experiment. So, now you know. Okay? Right, there is more. I recorded the videos you've just seen back in March, and it is now the end of October. I did make the 3-string fretless. Made two big mistakes with it. First of all, I didn't make the neck thick enough, so it bowed rather badly with 3 strings on it. And the other thing is, I used these tailpieces, a combined sort of tailpiece and bridge. You get one for each string. The problems I had, well, first of all you have to excavate the top to take that bit underneath, but I thought that if I got it to sit flat on the top of the body, then all would be well, but no. First time I strung it up, it was obvious that the strings were a mile too far off the fretboard, so I had to do a cut out and rebate them down into the body of the guitar. And even then, when I got it all together, there were problems that you have to space them up and down. You know, the top string is a bit shorter than the middle, which is again a bit shorter than the bass string, and I hadn't allowed enough movement. So those, whilst they are attractive enough in their way, and I think they do look good actually, but they're a bit out of my league at this stage. And these little videos of mine, they're only intended for bodgers at my level, you know, just to pass on my experiences. That's my experience with those. So, and the neck was no good, so I gave up on that. I took the original 2-string bass and using the body from that, put a new top on it and a new neck, and this is it. It's a fretless one, as you can see. It does look, as you can see, it's like a telegraph pole, this thing. I can't tell you the exact measurements, but just bear with me. Up there at the thinnest point it's 3/4 of an inch. Down here at the widest bit it's 1.5 inches. So it's a fairly chunky thing, and it does actually continue to get wider as it goes into the body. But never mind. Frets marked on the edge there like that, and they're all marked, every single fret, but the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 12th and so on are in bigger screws. The strings are, again, I didn't keep the packets I'm afraid, but they're flat wound strings, and they are 65, 80 and 102 gauges. And I didn't check what I tuned this to. I think it's EBE. It's not exactly in tune either, I don't think. But that matters not. What does matter is it's got that lovely whoom noise I was after making. Lovely, eh? Now, I can't play bass, but I'll try my little bit of Jack Bruce. Ah well. So it makes a nice noise. I like this very much, and I think I might just persevere with this and at least do my own backing tracks for 12 bar dusters, something like that. What else is there? Whoops! What else is there to tell you? Same old tailpiece, same old lump of wood with a bit of fret wire across it for a bridge. Simple volume control on off switch, and humbucker pickup. That's it. But I like this. Lovely noise. It's there are some noises you can't improve on. Harley Davidson motorcycles and basses that sound like that are just two. So that really is it now with basses. I don't think I shall make any other kinds. I shan't try anything else, I don't think, except possibly one with a shorter scale. But for the moment at least, that's basses. I'm not going to promise it's my final answer, but near as I can say at this stage. So there you are. Cheers!